In terms of goal scoring, Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge of Chelsea might not have gone as planned, but his team still put up a magnificent, tactically intriguing performance, and much promise for the future certainly remains. The German manager changed Lampard's team more than expected and even implemented a highly intriguing 3-2-5 shape. Given that he only had one day in charge of the Blues before this match, Tuchel certainly managed to get his point across regarding his tactical innovations that he wanted to implement this match, and the players seemed to follow his instructions incredibly well. Thomas Tuchel's side set up in what was likely to resemble a 3-4-3 formation. However, they spent 79% of the game on the ball and most of the time in Wolves' halves, so their attacking shape of 3-2-5 took centre stage throughout the match and far more than anything else. Hello people, my name is RDF and today we are looking at Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge of Chelsea, brought to you by RDF and the Mastermind site. So in this video we are going to talk about how Thomas Tuchel set up in his first match, and we're going to recreate that in Football Manager 2021. That tactic managed to finish second in the league with Chelsea, but we did end up winning the Champions League. So the link to that tactic will be in the description below, but also the full analysis of Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge will be in the description below, also from the Mastermind site. And before we get started with this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Now let's get started with Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge. The formation 3-4-3. Edouard Mendy retained his place in goal and secured a clean sheet. He had very minimal impact in the build-up phases due to the team's reliance on the central midfielders in the build-up, plus Chelsea's high position throughout the game. Cesar Azpilicueta played as the right centre-back, jumping forward into attack on a far more frequent basis than Antonio Rudiger, who featured as the left centre-back. Thiago Silva played in between them and somewhat important role in the build-up as well. Given how much Tuchel's team spent on the ball in this match, it makes perfect sense why he deployed a double pivot of Mateo Kovacic on the left and Jorginho on the right. Kovacic was slightly more important to switch in play, dropping deep to pick up the ball from Silva, and Jorginho adopted slightly a higher position at times, but also had a more stagnant role of shuffling from left to right. Like Kovacic, he was important to the team's ability to win the ball back to goal immediately on the attack. Callum Hudson-Odoi played an intriguing role as the right wing-back in this side, staying wide throughout the match and looking to beat his man, put crosses in at every opportunity. Ben Chilwell played as the left-back and played more inverted passes into central areas rather than 1v1 crossing game Hudson-Odoi deployed. Hakim Ziyech, Kai Havertz and Oliver Giroud made up the rest of the attack in central areas. It was more of a 3-4-3 in this sense than a 3-4-2-1, as Giroud didn't operate too detached from Havertz and Ziyech, both of whom rarely dropped deep to pick up possession as expected in a 3-4-2-1. This shape was evidently set up to dominate the ball and try to receive between the lines of the Wolves back 5 and midfield 2. Unfortunately for the Blues, Wolves' low block 5-2-3 formation meant that they found it extremely difficult to play through Nuno's side. As a result, they had to settle for going around them and delivering crosses. Chelsea sent in 20 crosses compared to Wolves' 4. Kovacic and Jorginho's build-up and shuffling. Chelsea's central midfielders were the key men in the build-up phases. Rudiger's inclusion in the lineup was a bit of an interesting one, as his main role was just to recycle possession to Kovacic, given how much time the Blues spent on the ball and how little defending he had to contribute. Azpilicueta was slightly more adventurous on the other side, which perhaps pinpoints one reason why Kovacic was able to get on the ball slightly more than Jorginho. Both were productive and absolutely excellent in possession. Kovacic had 160 touches total to Jorginho's 147. Whenever they were in possession, it was very much one-touch play. This can be evidenced by the fact that Kovacic made 152 passes out of his 164 touches, and Jorginho 139 passes out of his 147 touches. When in possession, they hardly ever took more than one touch, and most of their touches were tackles, looking to win the ball back and start over. Their role in the team was mainly to spread the ball out to Chilwell and Hudson-Odoi, but they were also on the move in shuffling left to right, regardless of if they were in possession or out of possession. Hudson-Odoi mainly looked to take his opposite number on a 1v1 situation and was very successful in the first half, beating the opposite left back with every opportunity. Ben Chilwell on the other side saw more of the ball in the second half, but rarely looked to deliver the ball into the box. Instead, he linked up with Kai Havertz, who operated as the left attacking midfielder, and Mateo Kovacic to switch the play to the right. Out of possession and pressing. When Chelsea were out of possession, they looked to press and win the ball back as quickly as possible. This happened very rarely in the match simply because they had 79% of the ball, but the pressing mentality was evident. Kovacic and Jorginho were always key to this. When they were pressing from the very front, one of the two would link up in a 4-man diamond with the 3 central attackers to press the ball. When it was closer to the wider areas, the central midfielders were again crucial to forming a diamond between the outside centre-back, wing-back and either the attacking midfielder or the other central midfielder. A few times in the first half, Wolves looked to play longer passes over Chelsea's defence after winning the ball, as Piliqueta or even Rudiger at times were caught too high, leaving space available to be exploited. However, Thiago Silva shifted into wider areas to cut off the attack each time magnificently well. In response, the wide centre-backs on that side would cover centrally in case Silva slipped up. Luckily, he never did, and Silva was easily able to recycle play to Jorginho or Kovacic to start again. But Chelsea had trouble attacking centrally. Chelsea attacked with much in the way of the width against Wolves, which was a positive in creating chances, but it was also particularly a factor out of Wolves' defensive 5-2-3 shape, which restricted Chelsea's ability to engage their central attackers centrally. Chelsea saw 2 issues attacking vertically, particularly in the first half. The first of which was Havertz and Ziyech having no room to receive in between the lines due to there simply being no space to receive the ball in between the lines. They would have to receive it in front of Neves and Dendoncker instead, leaving Giroud isolated up against 5 players, 4 of whom were very capable in the air. The other issue occurred when Giroud would drop in deep to pick up possession instead, leaving Ziyech and Havertz as the higher options in between the lines against 3 defenders and 2 central midfielders, who were shuffling well to screen passes into their feet. If Chelsea were able to find Havertz or Ziyech in space, the attacking midfielders then found themselves surrounded by 3 centre-backs in close proximity to one another, requiring them to shift the ball wide instead. This meant Chelsea relied mostly on attacks down the wings. Hudson-Odoi rarely ever cut inside until Tuchel switched him to the left. It will be interesting to see moving forward, should Hudson-Odoi continue to play, if his role down the wing would be an out-and-out winger, never cutting inside, or if he will show more variety in attacking central areas, should space be available for him to do so. Reece James may also return into the side when he becomes fit again, so it will be interesting to see how Tuchel uses his youth moving forward. The concluding thoughts. Even though Chelsea didn't secure the win, Thomas Tuchel showed signs of some intriguing tactics against Wolves, and the Blues have their mojo back in terms of dynamism and energy. Chelsea were a bit unlucky in certain stages of the match and completely dominated Wolves in terms of possession. Unfortunately, they were lacking a bit of magic up front, despite Kovacic and Jorginho showing much in the way of magic behind the attacking-minded front 5. So there it is, a tactical analyst of Chelsea's 3-2-5 formation in Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge. Be sure to check out more Thomas Tuchel, including articles on the Mastermind website. Also follow them at Mastermind site on Twitter. Now we are going to head over to Football Manager to see my recreation of this Thomas Tuchel first game in charge 3-2-5 recreation. So here we are, my 3-4-3 Thomas Tuchel shape for Chelsea in his first game in charge. So in goal we have the sweeper keeper on the defend duty. In defence we have 3 centre backs. The left centre back is the central defender on the defend duty. In the middle we have the centre back who is going to be covering, and the right centre back is the ball playing defender looking to be more adventurous. Left back we have the wing back on support. He has passed it shorter and sit narrower, whilst the right wing back is the wing back on the attack, being the more advanced version. In central midfield we have the deep line playmaker who is on the support duty and asked to mark tighter. His partner is the carrilero or shuttler, and his instruction is to take more risk on the ball and mark tighter. On the flanks we have the inverted wingers who are both inverted wingers and on the attack duty. Both of them are asked to sit narrower, so we are able to shift into a 3-2-5 formation, with both of the wingers coming inside supporting the striker, while the 2 wing backs will then push further forward. For the mentality, I have gone with the positive mentality. The attacking width is set to wide. In the approach play, we are going to be playing out from the defence, and we are going to focus through the middle, try and get Kovacic and Jorginho involved in the game, especially in the build-up. For the passing directness, I have set with the standard that goes with the mentality, so it will be short kind of, and the tempo, well, you can go for slightly higher, extremely high, you can even go to slow, but to try and replicate the one-touch football, especially from Jorginho and Kovacic, I went for the extremely high tempo. In the final third and the dribbling, creative freedom, we have no special instructions selected. In transition, we are going to be counter-pressing when the possession has been lost. When the possession has been won, I couldn't make my mind up if we were going to hold the shape or if we are going to counter. Against Wolves, Chelsea had so much of the possession and there was hardly much movement on the ball, but when I did use hold shape, it just took too long to build up play once we did win the ball. When the goalkeeper is in possession, he will be distributing it to the centre backs and he is going to be taking shorter kicks. Out of possession, we have the much higher line of engagement with the higher defence line. The defensive width is set to standard. The pressing intensity is extremely urgent with prevent short goalkeeper distribution. So that is the tactic. Make sure you check the description for the download link. Now we are going to look at the results. In the competitions, the Premier League, we managed to finish second. We played 38, we won 28, we drew 7 and we lost 3. Those 3 losses came against Manchester City, Liverpool and Manchester United. The big teams, so that's not exactly a promising sign. But in the Champions League, look what happened. We did win the Champions League, smashing PSG in the final 4-1. In the FA Cup, we got knocked out by Brighton. In the Carabao Cup, we got knocked out by Watford. But in the Premier League, if we check for the average possession, we've managed to finish 6th. For the goals, we scored the 4th most goals in the league. Expected goals for became 5th. We created 5 clear-cut chances. We completed the 4th most passes in the league, which is obviously a positive. We had the 3rd most shots in the league, so we could possibly improve our conversion rate as we finished 9th. For the defence, we had the 2nd best defence in the league and we also had the 2nd most clean sheets in the league. When it comes to interceptions, winning the ball back, we finished 2nd, just behind Liverpool, and throughout the season we only conceded 1 penalty. If we look at our team report, you can see that we were aggressive in our attacking efficiency, but we were also wasteful, which obviously is not a positive. Maybe work the ball into the box could help with that. But when it comes to the defensive efficiency, we were one of the strongest teams in the league as we were quiet and impenetrable. When it comes to scoring our goals, we scored most of our goals with the place shots and 16 headers. With the assist, most of our assists came from through balls, 10 came from crosses and 8 came from the opposition mistakes. So you can see that we are forcing the opposition into mistakes with our high line and our high intensity. Checking our squad stats, our top goal scorer was Tammy Abraham, then Hakim Ziyech with 12 goals, Mason Mount there with also 12 goals. For the highest assist in our team, Hakim Ziyech again, so he had a very good season. He had 10 assists, while Mason Mount, he also had 10 assists. So Mason Mount and Ziyech both had the same amount of goal contribution for Chelsea. So that is it for this video, this first video with RDF and the Mastermind linking up. I have enjoyed it. If you want to see more of this, make sure you let us know in the comments so we can write more analysts and we can give you more of this type of content. If you did enjoy this, also make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, the link to this tactic will be in the description. The full analyst of Thomas Tuchel as well in his first game in charge will also be in the description. Make sure you guys stay safe. Peace out. I will see you soon.